Good morning, students. This is an English class again. I warmly welcome you all to this English class. In the last class, we have studied about few grammar points, and we started with our mainstream with the first chapter, A Hero. Okay, so in that chapter, we have already dealt with 9 paragraphs, right? So let us have a quick recap of what we have learned till now. So there was a conversation between Swami and Swami's father. What was the conversation about? It was about a newspaper article which was reported in that day's newspaper. Father was sitting and reading the newspaper under a table lamp, hall lamp, and he was telling what the instance happened. That Swami, listen to this. News has been received about the bravery of a village lad who, while returning home by the jungle path, came face to face with a tiger. So he tells his son, like, some boy has done a bravery act. He was passing through the jungle and he has met the tiger face to face, and he was on the tree for a half of a day and he was waiting someone to come and kill the tiger. So that was a bravery act he was telling. Then what was the argument between Swami and Swami's father? They had a dispute, like Swami was telling father that how can a boy do that, dad? He might be a grown up person, he might be an adult. And what father says for that? No, courage doesn't matter with the strength and age. I gave you an example here, which was in the text itself, like what Swami's father tells. An elephant, though it has lots and lots of strength, if it is covered, he can do nothing. But the same place when a straw which has no strength, if he is having the lots of courage, he can do anything. Okay, that was the example. That was the comparison which dad has shown for Swami, and thereon a dispute started between Swami and Swami's father. Like what? Even you have to prove your courage. You start sleeping alone in my office room. And what Swami was trying to do, he was trying to divert the topic, but father was not ready to take up with that, and he keeps a full stop to the topic which Swami has raised. Like he was talking about some cricket club, and he was also telling the father that they were appointing the elders in their cricket team, and they were also ready to purchase brand new bats and balls. Okay, so that was the situation how Swami was trying to divert dad's attention towards. But dad was not distracted. He was on his focused thing and he was making his son to sleep alone. Then when the conversation was going on, he says, like how you have brought up is not a proper way. You have not brought up in a proper way. And he tells these words by saying his wife's face. There again, they had a conversation. Swami's father had a contract with his wife. Like what wife she got angry, and what she was supposed to tell. She said, "Why are you blaming me? He is spending all of his time with the granny. If at all you want to tell something, tell to your mother. Point out to your mother and tell, and not to me." There, when this conversation was going on, he nicely escaped and he went to sleep with his granny. So when she was asking what you are feeling sleepy so soon, he said, "Granny, don't disturb me. I want to sleep. Even if a house falls on fire, don't wake me up. Don't disturb me. Don't call me." Then what father does? He comes, he pulls his blanket, and then he wakes him up, and then he'll take to the office room. There, what happens again? He's telling, "Father, there might be scorpions behind your law books. I don't want to sleep there." What father says again? Father says, "No, if at all you don't want to lay it on the floor, you have to lay it on the bench itself." So this is what we have studied till now. If you are not, then he asked for 3 excuses, like, "Can I switch on the lights?" He says no. Then he says, "Can I just a moment. Can you please let the door open?" Then he'll agree for that. I'll agree for that. And then he says, he puts a condition there, unless and until you promise me to that you are not getting out, you will not run to your granny in between, I'll allow you to sleep in the same place, he says. Then I'll allow you to open the door for at least he'll open the door. Then if you are running in between, I'll take this topic to the school and all your friends will make fun of you and you will become the laughing stock of your school. So this is what the chapter we dealt till now. Now I had already given you a few homeworks, like what were the questions in the textbook. That questions were, I asked you that I'll be giving the notes, need not worry. But meanwhile, you should try to answer these questions because to improve your vocabulary. Got it, children? So hope all have done. And then by next session, you'll get all your notes. Maybe before that, if it is possible, I'll send everything. Need not worry. And what all notes I'll give, keep writing it. I'll side by side, we'll move on with the explanation. Now let's move on with the page number 6, paragraph 10. Let's see what happens from now on. Swami felt cut off from humanity. So what he thought, see, that has become so cruel. He has lost humanity. And Swami is out from all of the human beings. He was pained and angry. So when someone is compelling you to do something which you don't wish, obviously you will be in pain and you will be in anger, right? So that is the case of Swami too. He did not like the strain of cruelty. Strain of cruelty is nothing but it is a quality of unkindness, some being cruel to you. He saw his father's nature. What kind of nature did he see in his father now? He is seeing a sign of cruelty. He is finding a quality of unkindness from his father. He hated the newspaper for printing the tiger's story. He wished that the tiger had not spared the boy, who didn't appear to be a boy after all, but a monster. So what is running in his mind now? See, he is hating the newspaper. Why that newspaper people have printed such a news? Because of that only all this headache started. Then he is also wishing the tiger would have not spared the boy. Means the tiger should have killed the boy. It should not have saved it at all. It is spare in the sense the tiger should not it should have swallowed the boy. It should have eaten the boy. The word spared here is not just sparing. You are not getting out of it. It is meaning like not harm someone. Spare is just you are escaping from it. Not spare is you are not escaping from it. Okay. As the night advanced and the silence in the house deepened, so as it started become to very closer in the deep night, what had happened? It was in a complete silence. His heart beat faster. What is happening now? So his heart is beating faster. He remembered all the stories of devils and ghosts he had heard in his life. So it is obviously the same thing happens, no children, whenever if no one is at home, what all the ghost experiences you have experienced till now, all that at flash, at sudden, you will recall everything starts coming into your mind, everything will be running in your mind, right? So the same thing is happening for Swami too. He remembered all the stories of devils and ghosts he had heard in his life. How often is Chum Mani had seen the devil in the banyan tree at the end street. One of his Chum, in the sense it is a good friend. I have already written the meaning here. Chum and spare. So one of his friend Mani, he was telling a devil story, like he had seen devil in the banyan tree which is at the street end. So he remembered that. And what about poor Muniswami's father? Muniswami's father, who spat out blood because the devil near the river's edge slapped his cheek when he was returning home late one night. So what happened? One devil has slapped Muniswami's father, it seems. He remembers that scene also, when that Muniswami's father was returning home late at night. He spat out blood, means when someone slaps you, blood will come out from your mouth. Okay, that is called as spat out blood, threw out blood from your mouth. Okay, so the next, and so on and on his thoughts continued. Then there was not, it was not ending there. So and so he was imagining everything, what all the news he had heard till now. Okay, isn't it so funny? And isn't it very much related to reality, children? So even we, when we are alone, if we have watched some horror movies last night, the same thing will be, even we don't insist it to recall, will it automatically, it keeps on running in our mind, right? So that is what happening for Swami too. He was faint with fear. What is faint? He was completely weak with fear. A ray of light from the street lamp strayed in and cast shadows on the wall. And in addition to this, what is happening again? A ray from the street light. If the windows are open or even though it is shut, the rays will come inside, right? Because of that light, some shadows were formed. Even that was threatening him. Through the stillness, all kinds of noises reached his ears. The ticking of clock, that clock will be saying tick, 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 right? That ticking sound is also threatening him. Rustle of trees. You would have observed at the nights, the trees will shake, right? Even that looks like somebody is behind him or something is happening. When you are walking alone on the road, you can experience this feeling. Snoring sounds. Somebody is already sleeping. I just explained what the word snore means. We call it as gorke, right? Snoring sounds. Even that was threatening him, and some vague night insects humming. At the night when you are sleeping, some kind of insects will be humming. That sound is also heard. And he covered himself so completely that he could hardly breathe. So it was completely, he covered his face completely with the blanket and he couldn't breathe properly. But then also out of fear, he has covered completely. Every moment he expected the devils to come and carry him away. So what he was thinking, oh, all this he is remembering now, and what he was expecting for, devils will come and they'll take me off. They'll carry him away. There was the instance of his old friend in the 4th class who suddenly disappeared and was said to have been carried off by ghost to Snape or Nepal. So what happened? So he was expecting to come with, devils will come and carry him. There was an instance of his old friend in 4th class. Once instance is nothing but example. Once what happened for his friend who was in 4th class, who suddenly disappeared and was said to have been carried off by the ghost to Nepal. So what he's telling, his friend was being carried by the ghost to Nepal. Swami, 12th paragraph. Swami hurriedly got up and spread his bed under the bench and crouched there. So what he did, he was sleeping on the floor and now he hurriedly moves to where? Under the bench and crouched there. Crouched there is nothing but nelak antkoladu, we say, right, children? So that is called as crouched. Some few times, no, like while you are sticking to the floor, we'll say, right? That is called as that much closely he is packed under the bench. It seemed to be much safer place, more compact and reassuring. So what is he doing now? He's under the bench and he's crouched, he's sticking to the floor and he is more compact. It's because why he went there, he is feeling more safe there. Okay, more compact means lowered the body to the he's very much more compact and reassuring. Compact is nothing but something which is closely packed, that we call it as compact. Reassuring, to make someone less, to feel less, okay, reassuring, feel less frightened, okay. He shut his eyes tight and enchased, covered completely, okay. Enchased, covered himself closely, enchased, covering completely with himself in his blanket once again, and unknown to himself fell asleep. And without his knowledge only, he'll fall asleep. And in sleep was racked. What was happening in the sleep again? He was racked. He couldn't sleep properly. Make someone suffer great mental pain. What he was getting all kinds of bad dreams. So because of that mental stress he was getting. Rack is nothing but some kind of mental pain or mental stress. Physical pain also will be there, right? When you are getting that mental pain, you also feel like what is your body also will not be not so normal, right? That is what the word rack means. With nightmares, nightmares are nothing but frightening dream, like ket kansu we say, and also threatening dreams, frightening dreams, we call it as nightmares. A tiger was chasing him. What was that bad dream? What was that nightmare? A tiger was chasing him. His feet struck to the ground. When the tiger is chasing him, what is his condition? He couldn't run. His feet is struck to the ground. He desperately, what he do? Without no hope. When you don't have any kind of hope, what do you become? You become desperate, right? He desperately tried to escape, but his feet wouldn't move. Was trying, he was putting his complete effort, but he couldn't move. The tiger was at his back, and he could hear his claws scratch the ground. Where was the tiger? Right behind him. It was behind his back. What the sound he could hear? He could hear the tiger scratching the ground. You know, before targeting someone, before the tiger could target its prey, it scratches his legs, right? With that sharp toenails, what happens? Some kind of noise will come. He could listen that scratching the sound, scratching the ground, that sounds he could listen, scratch, and then a loud thud. Then again, Swami tried to open. Loud thud means he just screams up in his dream and he wakes up. Swami tried to open his eyes, but he, with his eyelids, couldn't open and the nightmare continued. So what happens? He is trying to open his eyes, but he is not in a position. The dream is not allowing him to open the eyelids, and the nightmare continued. It threatened to continue forever. Swami groaned and despaired. Okay, groaned means like we oddadadu we say, and during sleep, when you're in deep sleep, you make some kind of sounds, right? That is called as drowned. Okay, next paragraph 13. With a desperate effort, he opened his eyes. So desperate effort, after putting lots of efforts, he opened his eyes. He put his hand cut out to feel his granny's presence at his side, and was his habit. Usually when he used to sleep with his granny, right? At the night, he's searching his granny. He's just patting his hand towards the side of the bed. He's searching. Even when you are sleeping with your father or when you are sleeping with your mother, at some point of time in the midnight, you search for them, right? Unknowingly, you will search for them. Obviously, it is not a mistake, because you will be attached, you will be having a great attachment towards your parents or grandparents. Unknowingly, your hands will move, even in your sleeping. Okay, it is not that you can't control your mind even in your sleep. Okay, it happens unknowingly. The same way Swami is also searching for his granny in his sleep, but he only touched the wooden leg of the bench. When he was searching for the granny, what he could touch? He could touch only the wooden leg of the bench, and his lonely state came back to him. But what happened? At last, he is sleeping alone there. Only his lonely state came back to him. He sweated with fright. When you are very fearful, you sweat a lot, right? That was the same thing Swami is also feeling. And now, what was this rustling? What was happening? So, something soft he could touch. He moved to the edge of the bench and stayed in the darkness. So, something he could see in the darkness, and he moved to the edge of the bench and he stayed into the darkness. It is already dark. He's staring there. He is staring very hardly. He's opening his eyes and he's staring. Something was moving down. He could see something moving. He lay gazing at it in horror. He was looking steadily what is happening there. His end had come. He realized that the devil would presently pull him out and tear him. So something was moving. So what he thought? He thought that devil has come. It is the end of his day that night. And what he thinks? He is trying to, devil is trying to pull him out and tear him off. And so why should he wait? So he was not ready for that to happen. As it came nearer, he crawled out from under the bench. So as soon as that what he felt like something is coming close to him, as soon as it came near the bench, he just crawled out of the bench and he caught hold of that, hugged it, and with all his might, with all his strength, might is powerfulness, okay, strength, and he used his teeth, and not like a mortal weapon, like he used his teeth like a mortal weapon. Mortal weapon means it's a deadly weapon, like we say, like mochu, kodli and all, no? Some of the long we say, no, they all are mortal weapons. So he didn't have such mortal weapons. He used his teeth like mortal weapon. Okay. The 14th paragraph. Ayo, something has bitten me. Went forth and agonized. In great pain, he shouted, thundering cry, and was followed by a heavy tumbling. Tumbling means falling helplessly. Falling, tumbling, and falling amidst furniture. And where that fellow falls, he falls on the middle of the furniture. In a moment, father, cook, and servant came in carrying light. When this boy is biting someone very badly, he starts screaming. What is his intention? He is thinking that he is biting a devil. But what actually is happening, we'll see. He is screaming. The man who has got this, he is screaming with pain, lots and lots of pain. And father, cook, servant, everyone came to this office room carrying the light. And all three of them fell on the burglar, who lay amidst the furniture with a bleeding ankle. So what did they found? There he finds a thief, a burglar. Burglar is nothing but thief. Then all these three will catch that burglar, and how he was found? He was found in the middle of the furniture with bleeding ankle. You just imagine what was the force, with how much force he has bitten his ankle. Congratulations were showered on Swami next day. So overnight he became a hero. Who has become a hero now? Swami himself has become hero. Congratulations were showered on Swami next day. His classmates looked at him with respect, and his teacher patted his back. All his classmates started admiring him. What the teacher did, patted his back. Whenever you do something good, your well-wishers or your family members, whoever it may be, they'll pat on your back, like shabash, chanag madidya. They say, no, right? That is called ben tatti helodu. That is called as patted his back. The headmaster said that he was a true scout. Scout, it is an, like, they take care in all kind of public services. Scouts and guides, you'll be aware of it. Like for present example, even, you all know that SSLC exams have been finished very recently. Even there also, all the scouts and guides people had played a very important role, like sending them and sending the children to the classrooms, arranging them in a such a way, like maintaining the distance and all. What these people, scouts and guides, do, they take care of public responsibility. They voluntarily come and involve in all kind of public welfare programs. Okay, so and that was an example, children. It's nowhere related to the topic here. Next, come back to the chapter. Swami had beaten into the flash of one of the most notorious housebreakers of the district. So whom he has bitten? He has bitten a person who was very notorious in the sense he was very harmful. He is very dangerous. Housebreaker, he is a big thief. He used to he used to go in search of houses, and he used to rob the houses, and the police were grateful to him. What the police were thanking him. So police people were very grateful to Swami. Notorious is also, like, they are very famous for their evilness. Okay, very notorious criminal, we say, no? Such and such a people, he is very dangerous in the city. He is very dangerous in that particular area. Okay. The next 16th paragraph, the inspector said, why don't you join the police when you are grown up? Oh, so what kind of boosting he is getting now? He's been inspired to become a police officer. Swami said, for the sake of politeness, certainly yes. So he had quite made up his mind to be an engine driver, a railway guard, or a bus conductor later in life. So what he was thinking, see, he was thinking to become all such things, but what this policeman asked to do, he asked him to become a police officer. Now he is flying with heights. Okay, when he returned home from the club that night, father asked, where is the boy? He is asleep. Okay, all this happened the next day when the father came again from the club. By the time father could come, what this boy is doing? Father asks, where is the boy? He is asleep already. He didn't have a wink of sleep the whole of last night, said his mother. He didn't sleep yesterday. You know what all happened in his case, what kind of dreams he used to get, and how much he was struggling to sleep. Then where is he sleeping? In his usual place. Father asks mother, where he is sleeping? Where he'll sleep? In his usual place, she answers. Mother said casually. He went to bed, and at 7:30 itself he started sleeping. Sleeping beside his granny again. Father said, no wonder he wanted to be asleep before I could return home. Clever boy. So what he said, sleeping beside the granny again. No wonder he wanted to be asleep before I could return home. So what father is telling is, I'll make him to sleep again in the room. So he has slept before I could come. Very clever he is. Mother lost her temper. You let him sleep where he likes. Mother was controlling her anger till now, and she didn't enter between the conversation or the dispute, whatever had happened between Swami's father and Swami. Now she's out of her temper. She's out of her temper, and what she says, you let him sleep wherever he likes. You need not risk his life again. Don't risk his life again. So because a mother could feel how much he struggled last night, what all the difficulties he could feel, father mumbled and went to change. So my father was again mumbled. I explained to Esther in the last session itself. It is nothing but something you could say which others couldn't understand so clearly, like murmuring. Okay, all right, mollycoddle, like be protective and spoil him as much as you like. If usually in every house it happens, when father is scolding, mother comes to support the son. Father says, you are supporting him, you want to spoil him, You do whatever you want. You do however you want. So even he tells the same thing and he leaves the place for changing his clothes. Only don't blame me afterwards. He's also telling like, don't blame me later. Swami, even this word is very common in all the families. Like if mother is supporting father, I am not responsible. If he or she is fault, don't blame me later. I am not responsible, right? So this is the beauty of Sir R.K. Narayanan's story. Like it will be very closely related to our daily day-to-day life, and it is so simple. It is not so poetic. Okay, so you can, if you are reading it, you can feel it, you can enjoy. You just can imagine the situation, how it is happening. You just can picturize it very well. So this is his unpretentious style of writing. Okay. Swami following the whole conversation from under the blanket. See how clever this Swami. Even you people will be doing the same thing, right? Whatever your father and mother keeps arguing, you will go under the blanket. You pretend as if you are sleeping, right? The same thing Swami is doing here also. He is listening the whole conversation, but he is pretending like he is asleep. Felt tremendously revealed to hear that his father was giving him up. Okay, so what he is doing, at last father didn't ask him to sleep in the office room again. He is happy for that, and there the story ends. Isn't it so funny? And at the same time it is very much related to our daily day-to-day life, right children? So what you have understood in this story, you have three major points. Like one, if even though elephant it is having enough strength, if you are covered you cannot come forward. Then the second thing, the straw, it might be, I said straw means it is not the usual straw what with you have your liquids. It is like pulkaddi, that is called as straw. Even though the straw is very weak and it has lots of, sometimes what you do when you want to make a like hagga, you make it out of straw, how much strength it gets, right? So that is why we say it is, don't judge the book by its cover, right? Like these all the things we have discussed in this chapter. Hope all have enjoyed this chapter, and in the next session let me take up that poem, The Grandma Climbs a Tree. I thought let me start this session, but I have to complete few grammar points here. Let me discuss that and end this session over here. And in the next class you have to be ready with your classwork. If it is uploaded, all your classworks should be completed. Don't delay to complete your classworks. When I ask for correction, it has to be submitted on time. Okay. So now quickly let us recall about few of the grammar points here. In the page number 10, it is about homophones. Homophones. Like I have already said you, like what are homophones? What are homophones? Homophones I have explained to you very neatly, I think. So what here? It is in page 10, task 1. Okay. So it is in page 10, task 1. So some will not be having text. So I'm writing the question also. We had dash many apples. We had dash many apples to carry. We had dash many apples to carry. One is this two, the other one is this two. So what are homophones? As I have explained you already, homophones are nothing but a group of words, a group of letters where you find it with same kind of pronunciation but with different spellings. Okay. So we had dash many apples to carry. We had too many apples to carry. What is the other two? It is just a number. So next question. I dash a horse. I dash a horse at the Marina Beach. At the Marina Beach. Road or road. So what is it here? It is this one. Like road. You are, as it is a past tense, it is a past tense of ride. Okay. So that we call it as road. The other one you know very well. Where we walk on roads. Right? That road. Third one. Did you have a dash for lunch? Did you have a dash for lunch? Your or pear? Pear or pear. So what is this? It is a fruit. It's a kind of apple. It's a fruit. The other one, what is it? It's pair of shoes, right? Pair of socks. That is different. So next one. The books are over dash on the shelf. So what are the options you get here? It is there. The other one is there. Pronounce the same way, but which is the actual word you have to use here? The books are over there. Okay, and what does this here refer to? It refers to a possessive pronoun. Okay, this belongs to their car is red. Right? Got it? There. What is the usage of their? Hers. His. Then this belongs to him. All these are possessive pronouns. There is also a possessive pronoun, and unless and until if you are using this as a possessive pronoun, it reacts like a pronoun, and some places it also acts like an adverb. That we'll study when we see the kinds of adverbs and kinds of adjectives, pronouns also. Okay, children, I think you have copied this one. So take down the answers fast. Let me move on to the next main. The next one is task 2. This will be your homework. This will be your homework. I'll write this passage. This is a story. Or this homework should be in your homework book, children. And when I ask you to submit your homework book, this homework has to be done. Told by a dash night or night. Okay. Once he received a letter. Once he received a letter when he dash read or read it. Read it. True. View. Think good. Not. Could not. Live his own eyes. His own eyes. Hard, hard, hard. It was written by none other than the queen of the land. She asked him to meet her at Harriet secret place. The night was a fix. But he thought of far off plan to tide over his problem, over this problem. He went or went to the meeting place not alone, but along with his fair or fair. So this will be your homework, children. Let us discuss about the answers in the next session. Hope I'll give you 2 more minutes for copying this. Hope all will do this homework without any excuse. When I ask you to submit all your classworks along with your homework books should be submitted. Okay. Till now I have not asked you anything to write in your homework book. What I have asked you to do in your rough note, need not submit. Okay. So this will be your assignment 1. Got it, children? So no excuse from here on. So it has to be done. And when I ask you to submit it, it has to be submitted. Okay, children, I'll give you 2 minutes. It will be on the board. Please take it down neatly. By the reason I have given you here, those who have not have the textbooks, you don't tell me the reason like you don't have the text. That's the reason I have made, I have written it completely on the board. So you have to give the homeworks when the particular dates have been given. I end up my session here. Okay, thank you, children.